Gorilla versus Francis Ngannou, the clash of titans. What if Francis Ngannou, a man with one of the heaviest punches in the world, went one-on-one with a silverback gorilla alpha male? Could the technique and experience of a champion defeat wild evolution? Or would it all be over in seconds? Before we get into the numbers, it's important to understand, this isn't a movie. This is a comparison of two different worlds. Sports versus nature. Rules versus instinct. Francis Ngannou. His life is a ready-made Hollywood script. A boy who started working in the sand quarries of Cameroon at age 10 just to survive, eventually becoming one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet. He went through hell, illegal migration, prisons, and living on the streets of Paris. Then he rose to the top, becoming the UFC champion and moving even further, challenging the stars of boxing. His nickname, the Predator, exists because in a fight, he doesn't just compete, he hunts. But beside him is another predator, one without gloves and without rounds. The impenetrable jungles of Central Africa. That is where the one who recognizes no titles, belts, or rules lives. The silverback gorilla. He is the monarch of his troop. Gorillas exist in a world where every day is a workout. Climbing, pulling, pressing, and fighting for space. If his family is threatened, he switches on instantly, without scouting, without pauses, and without the fear of a hand injury. One is the pinnacle of human discipline, having turned his body into a weapon. The other is the crown of millions of years of evolution, forged for strength, leverage, and control. It is time to pit their stats face to face. 1. Dimensions, height and weight. Let's start with the basics. Proportions. Francis Ngannou. Height 193 centimeters. Weight approximately 115 to 120 kilograms. Gorilla. Average height around 170 centimeters. Weight from 150 to 220 kilograms. Despite being shorter, a gorilla is often 50 to 80 kilograms heavier than Ngannou. And this isn't excess fat. It is mass concentrated in a dense bone structure and a super dense muscular corset. If a human is a sports car, a gorilla is an armored tractor. 2. Strength. Ngannou has an elite level deadlift, roughly 250 to 300 kilograms. These are massive numbers for a human. But a gorilla has a different body mechanic. In pulling movements, in the jerk, in the grip, and in compression, the primate gains an advantage that is difficult to compensate for with technique. In a real struggle for control, pulling, squeezing, tearing, or flipping, a gorilla looks as if it has a strength cheat code enabled. 3. Punching versus. Clenching. Ngannou's punch is legendary. But a punch works when you have distance, timing, and a point of impact. In a fight against a gorilla, there's a problem. The gorilla has a different center of gravity, a different neck density, different tissue density, and different behavior. Even if a punch lands, it doesn't guarantee a stop. Moreover, the price of a mistake is enormous. As soon as the distance is gone, the fight turns from boxing into a clinch. And the clinch is the gorilla's territory. 4. Bite force. In a fight without rules, jaws become a factor that humans simply don't possess. Human. Average bite force around 160 pounds per square inch. Silverback. Approximately 1,300 pounds per square inch. This is power enough to break incredibly hard materials. The most terrifying part is the combination. The primate can hold you, pin you with its mass, and use its jaw simultaneously. There is no referee to step in. 5. Physiology and hormones. Biology gives the primate extra protection. A gorilla's skin is thicker, and its bones and ligaments are designed for extreme loads. Testosterone levels in mature males are far higher than in humans, and this affects the reaction to a threat. Aggression triggers sharply, and pain or fear do not function the same way they do for a human. A gorilla doesn't warm up through rounds. It decides everything at the start. 6. Muscle fibers. We humans evolved as endurance marathoners. We have many slow twitch fibers. They work for a long time but provide less explosive power. Gorillas are dominated by fast twitch white fibers. These are for instant strength, short bursts, and rigid control. Therefore, a gorilla doesn't fight on points. It tries to end everything immediately. 7. Reach and distance. Ngannou's reach is about 211 centimeters, which is massive. But a gorilla's reach can reach 230 to 260 centimeters. This means even the advantage in arm length may belong to the primate. Plus, the structure of the shoulder girdle and powerful bones allow the gorilla to put its entire body mass into shoves and jerks without the fear a human has, breaking a wrist or elbow upon contact. 8. The battlefield. The meeting location changes everything. Scenario 1. Cage. A human has the chance to keep his distance and move, but a gorilla operates differently. He explodes with one sharp lunge, one shortening of the distance, and the space disappears in seconds. Scenario 2. Jungle. A human loses his vision, space, and footing. A gorilla is at home here. Every meter is his territory. Scenario 3. Tight quarters. No room to maneuver. This is the worst possible scenario for a human. Here, everything depends on mass, grip, and instantaneous force. Francis Ngannou is the peak of human power. Speed, timing, and knockout force. For a few seconds, he could fight back. But a gorilla doesn't need rounds or points. It only needs to close the distance once. In the octagon, Ngannou is king. In the forest, there is only one king. Ngannou is the strongest human fighter. But a gorilla needs only one clinch. In the octagon,